Hey guys, Shane here, Flight Simmer. Welcome to another episode of Air Hauler 2. Today we're on episode 20. Apologies, there's no music or montage intro that you guys are used to. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to jump behind the scenes and we're going to take a look on how we set up an Air Hauler 2 flight within Prepar3D, and this one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be taking our first passengers on in Air Hauler 2, so let's not wait, let's get stuck into it so we can go and get flying. So I thought I'd just do a bit of an update on our current tracking for our Flight Simmer airline since we restarted. I think we restarted this in August, yeah. So cargo reputation is now 40, PAX is under, so it's 19.9, nothing for mission, so overall is 26.6. But that will gain quite quickly because I'm taking a new strategy actually. So as we can see, I've started doing some passenger flights, and that was really for me to do some training on it before I took you guys along. And guess what? Today we're going to fly our first lot of passengers on an Air Hauler 2 episode. So I'm going to show you a bit behind the scenes of how I go actually setting it up, and we're going to fly some cargo and some passengers at the same time. So let's get into it. Alright, so we're starting off at L52, and I'll tell you about what we're going to be doing with KFUL, which is Fullerton, a little bit later. So L52, I'm going to be flying 94 nautical miles, potatoes, so quantity is 930, because I've got to keep in mind I'm going to take some passengers, so I can't totally fill up the aeroplane. I'm going to get 6,500 for this, and KPTV is Porterville. So what we're going to do is we're not going to hit fly now, we're going to go to add a hot mission, and we're going to search for KP, what was it again, KPTV Porterville, brings it up there, so we're going to use select, and because I've got the Shrike now configured for passengers, so I've got 2 in first class and economy, so we've already got 1 ticket sold in economy. So I'm going to see if I can reduce the price so if I can get some more people to ride along. There we go. So we just made up to 874. See if I can do the same. There we go. So 960. Because we do have first class, I'm going to do complimentary service. Good for the economy. Complimentary service on the Shrike. That's pretty good if you ask me. So cabin service is going to cost me 45. Fuel, estimated fuel costs, full fees and whatnot. So cost per seat on the mile is 44 cents. And estimated travelling per day on the route. So they reckon there's only 40 people travelling this route each day. So I'm going to just change the times here. This is what I'm actually having problems with, is actually learning the times for conversion between GTM plus 10 to Zulu time, because I always start up in the dark and have to change it. So I'm just going to do that and see what happens, and we'll hit fly now. So we'll load our potatoes up there. So on board passengers, I think I've had an issue now because I've gone back. I think I've only got 1 passenger, but anyways, that will do, because we'll give us some points. This is a points flight, so just put our fuel for the flight and make sure that we carry a little bit extra at about 250 nautical miles, so we can run the Shrike a little bit. Welcome back to, we're now actually on the flight deck, guys. So so I had to change the time, I had to move it 4 hours, so Air Hauler is thinking my flight is time slot departing is 4 hours late, but I don't think it penalises me for it, so I'll have to get that time stuff sorted out. We're going to be flying with the sun in our eyes. Just hold short here, and as you can see, because I've got Rex HG Worldwide Airports, it actually overrides the actual runway and taxi textures as well, but that's cool. I've re-chosen from the video that I did. I'm happy with what I've got. So anyhow, so we'll put the strobes on, we'll put the landing lights on, we'll turn the squawk to shout out a little bit, and Flaps are flapping. So hopefully you guys are doing well and having a good day. It is AM, Australian time where I am, about 11:15 in the day. Those who are wondering. Come on. She doesn't like to move along when we've got a bit of weight on board. Alrighty. It's just making sure the trim is trimming, and let's go for it, guys. So speed is definitely alive, and we're going to struggle to get to takeoff speed. No, we'll get there. Oh, what? Watch out for the tree. So not exactly on the center line today, guys. We'll get this lock off and the gears are going up. Not my finest of takeoffs, but then again, I say that pretty much on all my takeoffs. Moving past 100, so we'll put the flaps up. Bit of a breeze around today. Bit hazy as well. Our first freeze for the day. Gotta bring out GPS to find out where we're going. And it's thinking. And it's still thinking. Oh, it's thinking. I'll give you an outside view of the airport, eh?
There was a time when you had me fall into the ground, like a king without a crown. Whoa. Why you make it hard? Don't let me down.
So we're going into some cloud or just over some mist, but before we turn the autopilot on, I just want to show you something. So the difference between cargo flying and passenger flying on Air Hauler 2 is that you have a comfortability rating, and it will score on your points. So for instance, if I bank left, there we go. I just made my passengers feel really uncomfortable, and I've dropped some percentage down. So you actually have to watch what you're doing, but as you can see there, I banked pretty steeply. Anyhow, just thought I'd show you that. So we'll pop that down. We're going to turn the autopilot on, and we're going to go up to 8,000 feet today. And just have a look, everything should be okay. So we've got 41 gallons of juice, squawks on. I'm going to turn the landing lights off now. And have a look at the view. Whoop, stuck my head out of the plane. Looks pretty good. Pretty cool. Alrighty guys, I'm going to come back to you once we hit our cruising altitude at 8,000, and I've got a bit of history about Porterville, where we're flying into, so we'll talk about it soon. Cheers. Welcome back guys, we're just sitting and chilling in the co-pilot seat. As you can see, it's very early morning. Oh, that wasn't meant to happen. It's very early morning, so the sun's come out. I believe it's about 6:30 AM. in the sim time. So we've reached our cruise altitude of 8,000 and a bit. That's the GPS, so we should be there in 25 minutes, so absolutely smashing along. One thing I haven't done is adjusted the mixture, and we'll just drop the RPM down. We'll actually flying flat chat the whole way, not looking after the engines. But Porterville, so I did a bit of research on Porterville because I wanted to see, didn't want to fly all this way, but it's a pretty cool, it's an interesting airport. So it was actually used during World War II by the American, I think it was the Air Force for training. It was a sister airport or a B airport to a bigger place, not too far away, for some did some more military training. So that was cool. It was returned back over to the local government around about 1953, I believe. I think there was a period there between 1953 and the next 30 years or whatever. It was actually closed down for 12 months, or it could have been in that turnover period. But I just thought that was a bit interesting. And the last lot of stats were done in 2009 that I could get my hands on, and basically they did over a month. I think there was about 43,500 odd movements of aircraft in a month, so it gets about 150, I think about 120 actually, 120 of traffic around. That's generally twin and light aircraft. So we should have traffic put back into these flights soon, so that'll be cool to see once I upgrade my hard drive to get a bit more space. But I thought that was some cool things about Porterville, so I tried to learn a little bit if I can find some information on different airports. Obviously I fly into some very small fields and I can't find that info, but it's always cool. So anyways, or anyhow, I will leave you with some outside views of a bit of a montage with some music as always, and we'll come back to you on descent, and hopefully the ground will be a little bit more visual. So talk to you soon, guys.
Why you make it hard? Don't let me down. You might as well be lost, but I'm found. I'm waiting for your love. You just keep me hanging on. And I deserve to stay. And I'll find my way. Just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm your home. I wanna be with you always. Know you're not alone, 'cause I'm your home. Whoa.
Welcome back, guys. So I've descended down to 4,000. We're just slowing down. We're about 9 nautical miles, so we're going to come onto our approach very, very shortly, so I need to descend a little bit more. So we'll just do that as we speak. But we're going to go into runway 33 or 32, I believe. So we have the wind coming in, and it's about, as you can see, can't see much there, but it's meant to be on approach 5 nautical miles is the visual distance. So we'll see how we go, but won't be long, and we'll be on our approach in. Alrighty, so we're turning on to runway 33. Winds are at 279, about 2 knots, so it's pretty light, but we should be able to see the runway. I'm going to take off that. I believe I've got landing lights on. I'm going to pop the gear down. So we'll just bring up the GPS. GPS is a bit out of whack, or I'm a bit out of whack, either way. I'm using a different program in the background for VFR flying, so we'll find out if it's actually going to work or not, because the runway should be right in front of me. And I would put my money on it didn't work. It's a little bit out. There's the airport over there. Alrighty. It is a little bit out. Oh, so the passengers there just made them a little bit uncomfortable. I did see an airport up here. Yeah, so there's 3-3, overflew it. Oh, well, that needs some adjusting work then. Said I was a smack on. Anyways, we're probably going to come in a little bit low. But we gave ourselves enough time. So passengers are uncomfortable. So we'll make sure we do a slow turn in then for our approach. I think it's a bit less than 5 nautical miles of visual approach. 69%. Jeez, I can't make these guys happy. Thanks for flying Ozflight Simmer Airlines, guys. And sorry about all... Oh god. Another notch of flaps. Not my finest approach. Alrighty, we're lined up, we're a bit high. Very high. But we've got the Portersvilles. And it's a very foggy day. Old flare. Flaring. Very slow touchdown. Oh. Surprised we didn't stall. Smooth landing arrived 247 minutes late. That's because I can't get the timing right. Oh, the wiggles. I can't get the timing right for these passenger flights, but that's okay. So flaps going up. We're going to turn off here. So we'll make a rider. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Sorry about the bit of a balls up at the end for the approach. I was trying something different in the background because I couldn't see with the weather, but it didn't really work. Alrighty. So landing lights are off. And strobes are off. Make sure our squawk is off. And while I do that, let's take a look at the replay and we'll come back to you soon. So hopefully you enjoyed the replay. The landings always look better on the replay than actually they were. So we're just going to pull up here. So if you're new to the channel, if you like this sort of stuff, oh, he's parked. I'm parking in his spot. Last minute dramas. But yeah, if you like the video, please jump on, watch one of the ones on the bottom left here. And if you're new to the channel, appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, and we do these air hauler videos plus more weekly. So we'll whack on the anchors. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon and have a good day. Cheers.